Hey Sherlock, I see you're ready for a new challenge. I've got just the thing for you. A jewelry store owner reported a theft. A detective arrived and interviewed 3 employees, John, Sarah, and Mike. John claimed he had been in the storeroom. Sarah said that one customer had been having problems with his credit card and she had been trying to help him. And Mike insisted he had been in the office. The detective immediately realized who was lying. Have you figured it out too? Sarah is lying. Have you noticed that note on the window? Cash only? The store doesn't accept credit cards, so Sarah must be the thief. 4 guys having 5 rocks each were playing a game in which they needed to throw rocks at a small island in the water. The first guy succeeded in throwing 3 rocks at the island, but one of his rocks sank. The third guy's aim was so bad that all his rocks sank. The fourth guy was quite good. At least none of his rocks sank. And the second guy was actually the winner, but he was struck by a rock in the head and was rushed to the hospital. Who threw a stone at the second guy? It was the first guy. He still had 1 rock left, remember? In the morning, Mrs. Williams cooked a chocolate cake for her husband's birthday. But when she came back home in the evening, the cake was gone.
Oh no!
The woman knew that one of her kids had eaten the cake. When she questioned them, she got the following answers. Albert said, "Hannah did it." Hannah said, "It was Cedric." And Cedric said, "Hannah is lying." Assuming that the culprit lies and the other kids tell the truth, who ate the cake? It was Hannah. When Albert said it was Hannah, he was telling the truth. When Hannah said Cedric did it, she was lying. And when Cedric responded, "Hannah is lying," he was telling the truth. Look at these words. One of them is odd. Can you figure out which one? It's the word fourth. It should be spelled as fourth. Look at these 2 couples. There's something strange with one of them. Which one? The couple on the left is weird. Look, they don't get reflected in the mirror behind their backs. Are they vampires or what? Creepy. Agents Yellow, Red, and Green each have a green badge, a yellow badge, and a red badge, but none of them has a badge color that matches their name. They were invited to a conference at the headquarters. The agent with the green badge said, "I've solved 2 cases," to which Agent Red replied sarcastically, "Of what, missing kittens?" What color is each agent's badge? Pay attention to the fact that it was the agent with the green badge and not Agent Green who was talking to Agent Red. Since the agent with the green badge spoke to Agent Red, we know that Agent Red doesn't have the green badge. We already know he doesn't have the red badge either. Therefore, he must have a yellow badge. The agent with the green badge cannot be Agent Red, nor can he be Agent Green. Therefore, he must be Agent Yellow. So, Agent Yellow has the green badge and Agent Red has the yellow badge, which means Agent Green must have the red badge. In the morning, Agent Black had a fight with his wife, Agent White. Later in the day, he sent her a coded message as an apology. It went like this. Can you figure out what this message means? Agent Black told his wife, "Too wise you are, too wise you be. I see you are too wise for me." Now it's time to turn on your analytical skills to the max. Can you figure out which number is missing here? The number you need is 78. If you read these numbers upside down, you'll get 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. Another riddle to check how sharp your wit is. You can't see it, but it can see through you. What is it? It's an X-ray. It loses the head in the morning and only gets it back at night. What is it? It's a pillow. They are two brothers on opposite sides of the road, but they never see each other. What are they? They're your eyes. The combined age of the father and the son is 66 years. The age of the father is the age of the son, but with the digits reversed. Can you figure out how old they are? A little hint. There might be more than one correct answer. The father might be 60 years old, then his son is 6 years old. Or the father is 51 years old and the son is 15. And finally, the father can be 42 years old and the son will then be 24. Try to answer this question without thinking. You have 10 fingers on your hands. How many fingers are there on 10 hands? I bet you had the urge to say 100 fingers, but no, the correct answer is 50 fingers. You see two women entering an elevator in a large office building. Which one doesn't work there? The woman on the left is wearing a name tag. It means she works for the company here. So the other woman is probably a guest. A couple decided to name their newborn baby Jason. Try to understand how this name is connected to the name of the couple's other children. J in July, A in August, S in September, O in October, and N in November. And we get Jason. Can you find two bizarre things about this picture? There's a pink coconut over there, and TV antennas sticking out of the sand. Your next task is to figure out which of these men is her husband. It's the guy on the right. Look, the girl keeps a picture of him as wallpaper on her phone. Which of these three ladies is not pregnant? It's the one on the right. If you look at her attentively, you'll see that she has a pillow under her blouse. One of these princesses isn't real. Which one? It's the one on the right. Have you noticed that one of her fingers is green? She's probably not human. How many books can you find in this picture? There are 5 of them here. See? Which of these guys is hungry? The guy on the right has already eaten. See that piece of lettuce stuck between his teeth? But the guy on the left is longingly gazing at a picture of a burger on his phone. He must be the hungry one. Can you find a candle in this picture? Here it is. Oh-ho! If you manage to spot it, you have an eagle eye. Jack posted a new photo from his trip on social media. How many likes did this photo get if only one statement is true? Unfortunately, Jack's photo got 0 likes. Hopefully, he wasn't too upset. Marcus woke up in a dark basement with just one candle burning on the table. He saw 3 doors in one of the walls and 3 keys lying on the table. How many attempts did the guy need to figure out the key for each door? He needed 6 attempts at the most, 3 of them for the first key, 2 attempts for the second key, and 2 remaining doors. And just 1 attempt for the last key. But if Marcus is extremely lucky, he might need just 3 attempts. Hey, Sherlock! Yes, you. Have you had your morning cup of coffee yet? Then put on your detective hat. It's time to work.
Yeah.
In 2 years, this dog is going to be twice as old as it was 5 years ago. How old is the dog at the moment? The pooch is 12 years old. Look at this picture. How many squares can you find here? There are 11 squares in this picture. Kudos if you found all of them. Mia is 3 times older than Anna. 3 years ago, Anna was a year younger than Amelia is now. Olivia is twice as old as Anna. Put the girls in order of their age. It goes like this: Mia, Olivia, Anna, and Amelia. David got lost in a jungle. After wandering for hours, he came to a place where the path split into 3 smaller trails. The first one led to an active volcano with red-hot lava bubbling in its crater. If David chose the second path, he would get to a clearing swarming with venomous bats. And the third path ended in a swamp, swallowing everything and everybody that got there. Where should he go? David should choose the second path. Most bats are only active at night. Plus, they almost never attack humans. A deaf man came to a store to pick up the flowers he had ordered for his wife. How did he explain to the shop assistant what he needed? He just said so. He was deaf, not mute. Here's a joke to lighten the mood. Don't take it too seriously. Why do elephants have wrinkles? No one is brave enough to iron them. Now, let's check how attentive you are. Your task is to figure out which vampire is the real one. The first vampire has a reflection. The second one doesn't have fangs. Only the third one is the real vampire. How about these mummies? Which one is real? The first one is the real mummy, the second one is just wearing a costume. See that zipper? And the third mummy has blue eyes. Now you need to guess which of them is the ghost bride. Have you noticed that the first one is sweating? The third bride is just wearing a costume, but the second one is the real ghost. She's slightly transparent. Which of these ladies is the real mermaid? The first one is the real mermaid, the second girl has a zipper on the tail, and the third one is hiding a snorkeling mask behind her back. Your next task is to guess which of them is the real Leatherface. The first one has a saw with a label from a toy store. The second one has a can of red spray paint in his apron pocket. But the third one seems to be real. Which of these creatures is the real zombie? The first one is the real thing. The second one has a sandwich in his pocket. See? And the third one might have caught a cold. He has a runny nose. Try to guess who the real Slender Man is. The first one has a very realistic mask on his face, but we can still see a gap between the mask and his body. The third one has lost one of his gloves with long artificial fingers, but the second one is the real Slender Man. Which of these creatures is the real orc? The first one is the real orc, the second one doesn't have fangs, and the third one has a different skin tone on his face and body, so he must be wearing a mask. Physicists have built devices to move it very fast. The last 7 letters of its name can usually be found in newspapers, magazines, and journals. Can you figure out what I'm talking about? A particle. There are 3 playing cards in a row. You've got the following clues. There is a 2 to the right of a king. A diamond can be found to the left of a spade. An ace is to the left of a heart. A heart is to the left of a spade. Now, try to identify all 3 cards. The cards are the ace of diamonds, king of hearts, and 2 of spades. Lewis and his friend Mark were playing basketball. Suddenly, the ball landed in the garden of Lewis's neighbor, a very unfriendly gentleman. An even more unfriendly dog was guarding that garden. Luckily, it was tied to a tree, but the ball fell too close to that tree. If the dog spotted Lewis, it would follow the guy's every step. And if the guy came close enough, he would get bitten. How can Lewis get his ball back without getting hurt in the process? Lewis should walk around the tree, staying out of that dog's reach. The dog will keep following him until the entire length of the animal's leash is wrapped around the tree. Then Lewis should grab his ball and run away. The son of the dentist's father is talking to the father of the dentist's son, and the dentist isn't taking part in the discussion. Can you figure out these family ties? The dentist is a woman, and the people who are talking are her husband and her brother. Ice will melt if you heat it, but if you heat me, I'll become solid. What am I? I'm an egg. You buy this thing to eat, but you never eat it. What is it? It's a plate. James left a folder with important documents on the table in his home office and went to a business meeting. When he returned, he found out that the documents had disappeared. James had 3 suspects. His brother said, "I've been swimming in the pool since you left. I haven't seen or heard anything." The cook replied, "Tomorrow we're having a party, and I've been preparing the food." The security guard told James, "Hey, I've been outside all this time, checking the garden for mice. Who knows where the documents are?" It's the security guard. I bet his job description doesn't include pest control. Maria won the lottery and returned home with a large sum of money, but her sister called her and asked for help, so the girl had to rush out. Before leaving, she put the money under the carpet in her bedroom. When she came back, the money wasn't there. There were 3 people in her apartment while she was away. An electrician came to fix her AC. A neighbor visited to pick up some books, and Maria's housekeeper was cleaning the apartment. Who took the money? It was the housekeeper. She was the only person who had any reason to check under the carpet. You're trapped in a huge deserted mansion, far away from civilization. The windows are either boarded up or too high above the ground. The only tree that grows close enough to touch is too thin to hold you. The entrance door is also securely locked. You see 3 doors. All of them lead to freedom, but behind the first door, there's a raging fire. The second door hides hundreds of venomous scorpions, and behind the third door, there's a dark maze filled with different traps. What should you do? Break off a tree branch and light it in the first room. Now you have a torch. Escape through the maze that isn't dark anymore. You're locked in a room with 3 doors. You can safely walk through any of them, but the doorknobs are the real problem. The first one is under high voltage, and you won't survive touching it. The second is covered with dangerous poison. You can't let it get on your skin. And the third doorknob is so hot that it'll make your hand burn. Which doorknob should you try? The second one. You can take off any piece of clothing and use it to open the door. This way, you won't have to touch the doorknob with your hand. David was crazy about mountain biking. It was his biggest passion in life, but his wife Jessica hated his hobby. She thought it was too dangerous. Once, David's friend Oliver invited him on an exciting rock climbing trip. David knew his wife would be against this idea, so he told her he would go fishing to the nearest lake for a couple of days. Jessica agreed but asked her husband to send a photo of him fishing. Once David arrived at the foot of the mountain, he photoshopped a fishing photo and sent it to his wife. As soon as she saw it, she immediately realized it was a fake. How come? Look, it's snowing. It means there has to be snow at the nearest lake too, but the photo David sent is totally snow-free. John had been in jail for a year. All this time, he'd been waiting for an opportunity to escape. One summer morning, he finally managed to break free. But it didn't go unnoticed. Several security guards started to follow John, and the man had to hide in the ladies' room. Look at the picture and try to figure out where John is. The man's hiding in the third stall. He wouldn't have had enough time to get a pair of women's shoes. An infinite number of mathematicians are waiting to make their orders in a coffee shop. The first one asks the barista for half a gallon of coffee. The second wants to have a quarter of a gallon. The third needs an eighth, and so on. How many gallons of coffee will the barista need to fulfill the wishes of all the mathematicians? Just one. A horse travels a certain distance every day. Strangely enough, two of its legs travel 20 miles every day, while the other two legs travel nearly 20.5 miles. It would seem that two of the horse's legs must be half a mile ahead of the other two, but of course, this can't be true. The horse is a regular animal, so how is this situation possible? The horse operates the mill and travels in a circular clockwise direction. The two outside legs travel a greater distance than the inside ones. Now, I want to ask you not to take this riddle too seriously. Okay? Then listen attentively. There are 10 people in a house. Everyone wants to shake hands only with people shorter than themselves. Let's assume that everybody is different in height. How many handshakes will be made? And the correct answer is 0. Taller people do want to shake hands with shorter ones, that's true, but no one says that shorter people will want to shake hands with them in return. A man was to be sentenced for his crimes, and the judge told him, "You may make a statement. If it's true, I'll sentence you to 2 years in prison. If it's false, I'll sentence you to 5 years in prison." After the man made his statement, the judge decided to set him free. Can you figure out what the man said? He said, "You'll sentence me to 5 years in prison." If it was true, then the judge would have to make it false by sentencing him to 2 years. If it was false, then he would have to give him 5 years, which would make it true. So rather than contradict his own word, the judge set the man free. Look at these two women driving. One of them is actually a car thief. Can you figure out which one? It's the elderly lady. See those scratches near the door handle? A man got stranded on an island, and one of the main issues was that he couldn't swim. However, he managed to get off the island and return home safely. How did he do it? No one said the man got stranded on a deserted island. He just found some people and asked them to take him home by boat. A woman jumped off a cliff, but she didn't get hurt. How is this possible? She jumped off a cliff into a swimming pool in the water park. A boy fell off a 30-foot ladder, but he didn't get hurt. How is this possible? The boy fell off the bottom rung of the ladder. Now it's time to think outside the box. What will you get if you add 3 to 300 5 times? That's simple. 303, 303, 303, 303, 303. Now, What king can you make if you take the head of a lamb, the middle of a pig, the hind of a buffalo, and the tail of a dragon? You'll get a lion, the king of the jungle. See for yourself. The head of a lamb, the middle of a pig, the hind of a buffalo, and the tail of a dragon. L-I-O-N, lion. Martin had 3 daughters. The eldest daughter was the most honest girl in the universe. She always told the truth. The middle daughter sometimes told the truth, but sometimes she lied. The youngest daughter never said a single word of truth. One day, Martin brought home a marriage proposal for one of the girls. It was from a wealthy man named John. He wanted to marry either the eldest or the youngest daughter. This way, he could easily figure out whether the girl told the truth or lied. Martin had a condition for him. He said that he wouldn't tell John who the eldest, middle, or youngest daughter was. Also, he allowed John to ask only one question to identify the eldest or the youngest girl. And still, John asked just one question and found the right girl. What was the question? The question John asked was, is she older than her? He addressed his question to one of the daughters, pointing at the other 2. You see, if the girl he asked turned out to be the eldest daughter, he'd know who the youngest one was, because no matter what, the eldest daughter always told the truth. If the girl he asked was the middle one, it wouldn't matter because the other 2 girls would both be acceptable choices. And if he asked the youngest daughter, she would lie, and he would identify the eldest girl. In any case, he needed to choose the youngest one based on the answer. Eric got lost in a museum. While he was trying to find a way out, it got late. All the doors were closed. Finally, he saw 3 staircases. The first one was all covered in bizarre nettles with razor-sharp leaves and long spikes. The second had giant stinking flowers with a stench almost impossible to bear. And the third staircase was an impassable jungle of cacti. Which staircase should Eric choose? He should run down the second staircase. Even though the flowers are gross, they're relatively harmless. Sarah got lost in a jungle. After wandering for hours, she finally came to a clearing with 3 narrow paths. Unfortunately, one of them was blocked by massive bushes with sharp thorns. The second was covered with trash and broken glass. And the third path was guarded by huge, scary-looking mantises. Which path should Sarah brave? The girl should choose the third path. Even though mantises look threatening, they're totally harmless. Chris was a truck driver. One Friday afternoon, he left Orangetown and was driving along the highway when he saw a man lying on the side of the road. Chris stopped and ran towards the man. After some time, he managed to bring the man around. His story was rather dramatic. He was a hitchhiker who tried to get to Orangetown. But halfway there, he had an argument with the driver and was thrown out of the car. The hitchhiker hit his head and lost consciousness. Now he was begging Chris to give him a lift to the town. Chris didn't believe the man's story and refused to help him. Why? The hitchhiker was lying on the right side of the road, but if he was going to Orangetown, he would be on the left side. It always stays hot, even when it's in the refrigerator. What is it? A pepper.
Megan here is a popular blogger from New York.
Hello.
Today, she's meeting her bestie, Rosie, in her favorite cafe.
Hello.
They're both on a diet, so they only order herbal tea and a piece of chocolate cheesecake to share. Megan and Rosie have a great time together and post some food pictures. But an hour later, Rosie faints. Doctors reveal that she was poisoned. Let's take a look at Megan's post. Can you figure out where the poison was? Rosie put sugar in her tea, and Megan didn't, so the poison was in the sugar packet. After taking care of Rosie, Megan's finally headed home. The door in her apartment building has a combination lock, and someone has recently changed the 4-digit password. Luckily, Megan finds a hint nearby. Can you help her figure out the new code? Multiply the first and last number. Then multiply the second and the third number. And the code is 2516. Megan goes up to her apartment. There's a stunning sunset going on out the window. She takes 2 pictures for her Instagram. Can you find 5 differences between them? Ready to see the differences? Here they are. Megan decides to eat some snacks and watch the videos of her favorite bloggers. One of these 2 ladies is a millionaire, while the other one is broke. Can you guess who is who? The second lady is broke. Can you see the Eiffel Tower and Big Ben in the background? She can't be in Paris and in London at the same time, can she? So her photo is fake, as well as her fancy lifestyle. Megan gets some cheesy comments from one of her subscribers, Evil Eye. But she doesn't take it seriously. She spends a great night with her friends. Late at night, Megan is walking back home alone. Suddenly, Evil Eye appears right in front of her. He grabs Megan and puts her into the trunk of his car. Megan faints. After a while, she wakes up in a basement and sees her fan drawing some sort of a flower on the floor. He says, 2 letters are missing here. Guess which ones and I'll set you free. If you don't, you'll stay here forever. Can you help Megan out? The missing letters are M and E. Megan returns home and discovers that someone has stolen her laptop. Well, this just isn't her day, is it? She calls the police and they interrogate 3 neighbors. Holly says, I was cleaning my apartment with loud music playing, so I didn't hear anything suspicious. Paul said, I was walking my dog for the last 2 hours. We just returned home. Everything looked as usual. And Alex said, I spent the whole day at home. I only went out once, about an hour ago, to take out my trash. I noticed a strange guy in a hoodie at your door, but he left very quickly. Who's lying? Alex. He said he had taken out the trash, but take a look at his trash can. It's still full. The next day, Megan gets good news from the police. They caught Evil Eye, and he's in jail now. He insists that the officer should give this note to Megan, but she has no clue what this means. What about you? Ready to see the solution? The note literally says, Jailbreak at 11 a.m. Yay! Megan's favorite blogger has just posted a What I Ate in a Day video. See if you can spot anything odd here. Wow, she keeps a saw in the fridge. Here's the next video. Can you spot any mistakes? Yep, this rainbow is fake. Today is Megan's 30th birthday. She's been preparing for a party for weeks. She bought a beautiful dress, cooked plenty of food, and decorated the apartment. A lot of friends are invited, including Megan's boyfriend, Jeff. Before the event, he calls Megan saying, "I'm in the office right now, but I promise to be at your place at 8 o'clock." Jeff comes home at 8:05. He brings flowers, a birthday cake, and a diamond necklace. But Megan is really mad. She throws the flowers into his face and bursts into tears. Why? Megan was expecting him to arrive at 8 p.m., but he came at 8 a.m. the next morning. In the evening, Megan decides to go buy some ice cream. She walks towards her favorite corner store on the block. Megan meets the owner of this store, Ted, on the street. Masked man has just robbed the store and took all the cash. Megan explores the space and the broken shelves. Then she says, "I don't think it was just an ordinary robbery. The thief must be your enemy."
Oh, really?
How did she know? Take a closer look at the floor. The salt packages have been torn. Also, the thief opened the bottles so that the oil would leak out on the floor. Why would an ordinary thief waste time opening the bottles? Therefore, they had an intention to cause as much damage as possible. Megan takes Ted out for coffee to cheer him up. The waiter brings them 2 identical servings. Well, almost identical. Can you spot 3 differences between them? Here they are. Megan gets an invitation to a fancy party for bloggers.
Yes!
Only those who can crack this maze will actually find a way in. Can you help Megan reach the party? She should choose the 3rd route. Megan reaches the final destination. There are 3 doors, all covered with graffiti. Can you help her guess where the party is taking place? Let's take a closer look at the lettering on the doors. If we replace each letter with the previous one in the alphabet, we'll get party, toilet, and exit. Therefore, Megan should enter the 1st door. Security guards at the party got a report. Several criminals are planning to get in. That's why they scan everyone's bags very carefully. They find 3 suspicious people and arrest them. But one of them is innocent. Can you guess who? The second lady carries too many phones in her bag. A couple of smartphones and one old-fashioned button phone. As for the third guy, why would a bald man need shampoo at a party? It seems only the first lady isn't a criminal. Megan enters the party and goes to the bathroom to refresh her makeup. There, she meets 3 pretty ladies. 2 of them are vampires. Can you tell who's not? This lady who's standing next to Megan is a human because she has a reflection. Therefore, the 2 others are vampires. Megan wants to rent a cozy cabin to spend a weekend in the woods. She's looking through a special app and finds 4 available options, but only one of them is safe enough. Can you help Megan make the right decision? The second house looks pretty cozy, but there's a creepy clown hiding behind the tree. And the price is suspiciously low. According to the info box, the third house was built 9 centuries ago, but it looks pretty modern, so it's probably a scam. The fourth house is chic and high-tech, but the window glass is covered with cracks, which is not safe at all. So Megan should choose the first cabin. Finally, it's the weekend. Megan hits the road to go to the cabin. On the way, she makes a stop to visit the local farmer's market. Megan picks some lemons. She wants to pay, but her phone is gone. She interrogates 3 people standing nearby. Kim says, "I didn't touch your phone. I was too busy selling my tomatoes." Magna says, "I was taking pictures of my shop for social media. See for yourself if you don't believe me." And Bianca says, "I think it was Kim. Her business has not been going well recently." After hearing what they had to say, Megan knows for sure who's the thief. What about you? Check out Magnus's basket with vegetables. He hid Megan's phone among the carrots. Megan orders a beverage at the local coffee shop and looks around.
Hello.
One of the customers is not human. Can you figure out who? The waitress. Her eyes are blinking red. Maybe she didn't get a tip. So Nick and Oliver are twins, and they want to throw a birthday party. They have a limited budget, so they want to get as much yummy food as they can for the lowest price possible. Sure thing, they want to have some pizza. An 18-inch pizza costs $5. Wow, on what planet? Oh wait, this is hypothetical. Meanwhile, a 12-inch pizza costs $3. Oliver is a geometry geek, and he says it's better to grab one 18-inch pizza. Nick doesn't feel this way. So, what's bigger, one 18-inch pizza or 2 12-inch ones? Well, there are 2 answers to that. Geometry claims the area of 2 12-inch pizzas is equal to 226 square inches, but the 18-inch one is 254 square inches. Well, from this point of view, you'd rather grab an 18-inch one. But hey, geometry and cooking are 2 completely different things. So it's the weight that matters here. The more the weight, the more calories there are. So you know what to choose, and there will be enough pizza for everyone. Seems like Nick's right. How can you divide 5 pears among 5 people so that each of them gets a pear and at the same time 1 pear remains in the basket? Well, this one's pretty easy. No need to cut any of those pears. Just let one person take the pear right in the basket. There are 2 ropes, and each of them burns completely in 1 hour. There is also an ordinary box of matches. How can we measure exactly 45 minutes of time using only these objects given to us? There's a condition though. Ropes are not allowed to be torn. We set fire to one rope from 2 ends. It'll burn out in half an hour. At the same time, we set fire to the second from one end, and half of it will burn in half an hour. When the first burns out, we set fire to the second from the second end. From both ends, it will now burn out in 15 minutes. It will take 45 minutes in total. The passenger elevator rises to the 5th floor, twice as fast as the freight elevator to the 3rd floor. Which elevator will come first? Freight to the 3rd floor or passenger to the 5th, if they started moving from the 1st floor at the same time? Hey, have you noticed that the answer is hidden in the question? Yeah, a passenger elevator goes up faster. Okay, 4 players sat down one evening and played all night until dawn. When they finished playing, everyone counted how much money he had in his wallet. It turned out that during the night, everyone got $100 more, and no one lost. How can it be? Nope, these guys didn't play cards. These were musicians. They played as a quartet, after which they received their fee. Max has got to get up at 7 in the morning every weekday to get to work on time. Unfortunately, his alarm clock is not quite accurate. In 3 days, he's 9 minutes behind. Assuming that at 11 p.m. on Sunday, Max checks his watch and sets the correct time, when does the alarm actually go off on Tuesday morning? The clock is 3 minutes behind per day, or 1 minute every 8 hours. From Sunday at 11 p.m. to Tuesday at 7 a.m., there will be 32 hours. Thus, the clock will be 4 minutes behind and the alarm will ring at 7:04. One trader plans to go around 30 markets to find a suitable place for future trading. In his hands, he has 3 bags of apples that cannot be left at home. The merchant is forced to carry fruit with him. Unfortunately, everyone who enters the market with food must pay a tax, 1 fruit from each bag. How many apples will the merchant have after visiting all the markets if he's interested in keeping as many fruits as possible? There are some conditions. First off, keep in mind that initially, the merchant had 90 fruits. Next, remember that each bag can hold no more than 30 apples. And the last one, apples can be transferred from bag to bag. After visiting 10 markets, the merchant will completely empty 1 bag. The second bag will be empty after visiting 15 more markets. Now there are only 5 markets left, and the merchant will leave 5 apples there. He'll be left with 25 fruits, and he probably won't find a decent place for trading. I guess the merchant should start some small business online. 4 pairs of friends decided to go on a picnic together. Mary ate 3 sandwiches, Kathy 2, Lena 4, and Maria 1 sandwich. Jack ate as many sandwiches as his girlfriend Mary, Bob twice as much as his girlfriend, Alex 3 times as much, and Vincent 4 times as much as his girlfriend. Altogether, they ate 32 sandwiches. What's the name of Alex's girlfriend? It's Maria. Jack ate 3 sandwiches, and his girlfriend is Mary. Bob pounded down 8 sandwiches, and his girlfriend is Lena. Vincent wolfed down 8 sandwiches, while Kathy only ate 2. Alex ate 3 sandwiches, so his girlfriend is Maria. Hey, I can read your mind. If you don't believe me, then think of a number. Keep it simple. You'll have to do a bit of math here. And you may probably need a calculator to play this guessing game with me. So, you think of a number. Now, multiply it by 3. Done? Okay. Now add 6. Next step, you need to divide this number by 3. Now, subtract the number you thought of from the resulting number. Let me guess, as a result, you got 2, right? No magic involved, it's just a smart math riddle. It works with any number. The savannah was on fire. 3 lions and 3 zebras fled to save their lives. To escape the fire, they need to cross a river swarming with crocodiles. There was a raft nearby that can carry 2 animals at a time, and it needs at least 1 lion or 1 zebra on board. Also, the lions can't outnumber the zebras on either side of the river even for a moment. Lunch. So, how can all of them safely cross the river? First, a lion and a zebra should cross the river. The lion stays on the other bank and the zebra goes back. For the second crossing, the 2 lions take the raft, but only one of them stays on the other side. 1 lion returns. Next, 2 zebras cross the river. To send the raft back, there should be a lion and a zebra on it. Now there is a lion and a zebra on the safe bank, and 2 zebras and 2 lions on the bank that's on fire. For the next crossing, 2 zebras take the raft. Now all the zebras are safe, and the lion can bring his friends one by one. Mr. Daniels is a math professor. He wanted to make it simpler for his students, so he suggested an idea. Whoever can solve the problem he gives does not have to take the exam at the end of the semester. The problem was, how can the number 5 be half of 4? A. If you were Mr. Daniels' student, would you have to take the exam? Well, to solve the problem, you need to use Roman numerals and not Arabic, as we typically do. In Roman numerals, IV stands for 4 and V stands for 5. Seems like 5 is indeed half of 4, according to this logic. Ready for a short one? Of course you are. So, if it's an odd number, but if you take away a letter and it becomes even, what number is that? It's 7. Just take away the S and you'll get the word even. Yeah, I know. And this one is just a pro tip for you. If you ever struggle to learn all the digits in the pi number, just give up. There are trillions of them. But there is a trick to remember at least 7. Just say, how I wish I could calculate pi. There are 3 letters in how, 1 in I, 4 in wish, 1 in I again, 5 in could, 9 in calculate, and 2 in pi. You got 3.141592. Yeah, I could have used that. So, Smarty Pants, are you ready for some detective work? Great, because I happen to have some right here. Gee, what a coincidence. Yeah. Let's go! You drop a bowling ball in a bucket of water which is 45 degrees Fahrenheit. And you also drop another ball of the same weight, mass, and size in a bucket at 30 degrees Fahrenheit. If you do it at the same time, which ball will hit the bottom of the bucket first? The ball in the bucket of the 45-degree water will hit the bottom of the bucket later than the other ball. Did you think that the water had to be frozen at 30 degrees Fahrenheit? But the riddle says nothing about that bucket having anything in it. Therefore, there is no water or ice to slow the ball down. Sam is talking to his lawyer in jail. They're very upset because the judge has refused to grant bail. At the end of the conversation, Sam is allowed to leave the jail. Why? Sam is visiting his lawyer, who was arrested and jailed. Time to look for another lawyer. Mary is the owner of a bag store. One day, a young woman came in. She wanted to buy a bag. After choosing the one she liked, she asked Mary how much it was. The price was $30. The girl asked Mary to sell it for $20, and the store owner agreed. The girl gave her $50. Mary didn't have any change, so she went to her friend who worked nearby to change the bill. The friend gave Mary 2 $20 bills and 1 $10 bill. The woman gave the customer $30 and put the remaining $20 in the cash register. Just a few minutes after the buyer left, Mary's friend rushed into the store. "The bill you gave me is fake. I need my money back." Mary gave her friend her own $50. How much money did the store owner lose in total? For one thing, Mary sold the bag at a $10 discount, so she already lost this money. Then she gave the girl $30 in change, and she had to return $50 to her friend for the fake bill. One $20 bill was the one her friend had given her, so she had to add $30 of her own. In total, she lost $70. Wow, next time use a credit card, huh? Private Detective Deborah was doing some shopping at the mall. Suddenly, she heard people arguing. The woman went there and saw a stressed shop assistant and several people crowding it. The poor man had found a smartphone and made an announcement, and now several people claimed it was their phone. One man said the phone must have slipped out of his bag. A young woman said the gadget belonged to her, and an older woman shouted it was her husband's device. That's when the phone rang. For some reason, the shop assistant handed it to Deborah. The woman glanced at the screen and immediately gave the phone to the man. How did she understand whose device it was? Deborah saw the word wife written on the screen. Jenny heard about a private party which was supposed to be VIP. Celebrities and influencers were going to attend it. And guess what? Thanks to one of her friends, Jenny managed to get on the guest list.
Yay!
Before the party, the girl bought a new dress and a pretty and expensive purse. At the party, Jenny got acquainted with a very nice young man called David. They were talking when someone pushed Jenny. She didn't fall over, only thanks to David's fast reaction. But she noticed that her purse was gone.
No.
David rushed to catch the thief. He spotted a guy hanging around the entrance. "What are you doing here?" The man answered that he was looking for an ATM. He needed cash to buy a ticket for the party. David told the man to hand Jenny's purse over or he would call the police. How did he understand the man was the thief? This is an A-list event. You can't just buy a ticket to get there. This man is lying. The faster you run, the harder it is to catch this thing. What is it? It's your breath.